This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by the future Ben Whittaker. Ben, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. I'm all good. It's obviously been a while since we've had a chance to catch up. For those who won't know you, obviously you're on Team GB. I'm a podium squad. Just introduce yourself to the Boxing Social fans and everybody who's going to watch this interview.
Well, I'm Benjamin Whittaker, 81 kilo, boxer for Team GB. I've won 6 national titles, 2 senior elite titles, and I've recently just moved up to 81 kilograms.
I don't know where to start in terms of everything that you've just ticked over. We'll start off with your decision to move up to light heavyweight. I'm at amateur scene now, 81 kilos. What prompted that decision?
Well, I was 75 kilo from when I was about 16, 17, and I'm 6'3" now, tall lad, and it was killing me in the end. And I went in the Commonwealth game, didn't do the best there. The weight wasn't the best. I'd come out the ring about 84 kilo. The coaches wanted to move up a long time ago, but I thought, I'd keep my advantages, keep tall and all that, but it just didn't work. Spoke to the coaches, they said the best thing is to do is move up, and I've proved that is the right move now.
We've seen a lot of fighters professionally who will stick at their weight even if they're having to burn off a 10 odd pounds just a couple of days before the fight. It was ever a risk in your mind, or what made you feel like you could just persevere with it?
What it was amateur boxing. You weigh in on the day, fight on the day, and the first 3 fights I'd be fine, but then keep fluctuating weights up and down to about 83 kilo to 75 each day. It was just doing me no good, and I wanted to perform. Where now I'm walking around about 83 kilo. All I have to do is knock off 2 kilo, then I'm nice and easy at 81.
So have you found the move up to light heavyweight in terms of the differences between the fighters at that weight and the super indoors?
Well, like I said, I've been walking around about 83, 84 kilo, even when I was 75 kilo, so I was a natural light heavyweight already. Since I've moved up, my speed is like a real factor. I can see it. I can see everything they're going to do, and when I'm fighting, my speed kind of takes over the fight, so I've just got to keep that going now.
We was talking about that when I come in, you were saying that, look, you've carried this speed through up into the heavier division, and at light heavyweight they don't tend to be as slick a mover as what you are because of your style. How much of an advantage have you found that so far?
Well, when I was middleweight, the coaches down at GB, that was one of my main factors, my speed and my slickness. And middleweight was a nice, speedy kind of division. 81 kilos, since I moved up, they're heavier. They might look muscly and bigger than me, but my skills and my speed just overtakes the belt, and it's pretty easy there.
Your little smirk on your face then as well, looking back on some of your fights, I take it you're running through your head and the success you've had as a light heavy. Just talked about these 3 gold medals. You've had 3 tournaments, 3 gold medals at light heavyweight now.
Yeah, recently I moved up to 81. I went out to Turkey, won a gold medal there, beat some good names. Then I went straight to the EU's, the European Union Championships, won gold there, beat another few good names. And then I recently came back from the GB tournament with some good countries there, with Kazakhstan, Russia, Netherlands, so on. Beat some top names there, another gold medal, and I'll just keep ticking my resume until the Olympics come up.
I was going to say, you've just mentioned like Kazakhstan and Russia. Them countries in the amateur scene have got some frightening fighters and some very competitive fighters. What do you think it is that we don't necessarily see as many of them reach that elite level at the professional ranks?
Sometimes it can be they stay in the amateur game too long. You do see some of them do like 2 Olympics, 3 Olympics, where you look at the UKs and the Americas, one cycle they're straight pro then. Because the elite amateurs sometimes is harder game than the pros. You're fighting top boxers you know the way around the ring, so keep getting hit like that in your head all the time. It's going to slow you down. So I think the best thing is to do is get your experience as an amateur, come away with your bearings intact and go pro straight away.
So you just mentioned going pro straight away. Is that something that in your mind you're pretty set on, that you'd like to turn pro after the Olympics, but you'd only actually be 22 because the Olympics obviously next year?
Yeah, 100%. It's been my dream since a kid going pro, being in the big lights, but what I'm doing now is great. Being on Team GB, I'm flying around the world, getting top sparring, getting top fights. Nobody likes to lose, but a little loss, I can afford it now, I can learn from it. Whereas the professional, I'm keeping that 0, man, keeping that all.
I was going to say, turning 22, and if you did go over to turn pro, it's very young for obviously someone to turn pro, even if you have the extensive amateur background that you do have. Is there any doubt in your mind that you might leave it the extra cycle till you're 26, or at least get to maybe the next Commonwealth Games when you'd be 24?
A lot of people have been asking me that, especially the next Commonwealth Games being in my hometown, Birmingham, or near enough my hometown. It would be great to see everyone there, but I just think that's what you want to do. After you go to the Olympics, that's the biggest thing there. Your name's out there. Everyone sees you in the lights there, so there's no point going to the Commonwealth Games after that. I've done my apprenticeship. I've been boxing as an amateur since I was 12 now, so I've done everything. Flew around the world. The next thing is for me is Europeans, Worlds, Olympics. Tick them off, get the medals that I need, then join the ranks as a professional.
And talks about the Commonwealth Games from last year. I know you lost to John Doherty, who's recently turned over as a professional with Matchroom. I watched the fight and I actually thought that you was ahead, and I've saw in a few of your fights where you've actually not been given it, even though you've seemingly looked the better fight and you should have been awarded the decision. There's a lot going on in terms of the refereeing and the system with the judges at amateur level. What have you made of it all and your Commonwealth experience?
That's part of the amateur game. You win some, you lose some kind of thing. It was down to me to do a bit more. The coaches, the commentators, and even local people who was watching it, people in the venue thought I won, but I just laughed it off. Part of it was the weight. There were certain things in there you could see that you wanted to go for things, but the weight and stuff like that don't help. But no excuses. The lad who won it in the end, the Indian lad, I beat him, so it's a bit of an annoying thing, but it's in the past now. I'm on bigger and better things now.
And what do you make of John Doherty? Just whilst we're on him, obviously I know he beat you there. He's just turned over pro. Is he a style? Is he a fighter who could cause you problems, or is he someone who you've dealt with previously and you don't actually see him causing you any issues if you were to fight further down the line?
Further down the line, he wouldn't want it. He's had his little victories in the amateurs, and he's done the right thing, turned pro now, because he knew he wasn't going to go anywhere as an amateur. The Commonwealth Games was his kind of Olympics. Get a bronze medal, get a contract, turn pro. That's what he's done. Fair play to him. I hope he keeps winning until I turn pro.
Is that a bit of a message for you then? Hope he keeps winning until you turn pro?
I'm just saying, man, it'll be a good little rivalry there.
It talks about as well, like, when you eventually turn pro, the weight. So obviously you're boxing light heavy now. I imagine you'll be dropping to super middle or maybe middle even, depending on what your coach is saying. How do you see your career planning out in that sense?
Yeah, as a professional, you can kind of do that with the weight. You can go down, especially because you got 24 hours to weigh in. So I'm just going to see how I feel. I'm a tall lad, 6'3", but like I've not really thought about that yet.
What do you make of the current light heavyweight scene in England? You've got the likes of Josh Buatsi, who I know you'll know well. And I've spoken to him previously about yourself from his GB days. I know you sparred with him, etc. But then you've got the others like Anthony Yarde, who's mandatory for Yarde-Kovalev, Jose Burton, Frank Buglioni before he retired. What do you make of the domestic scene at light heavyweight?
It's an exciting scene, to be honest. I'd love to be in there now, but I can't see anyone better than Josh Buatsi at the moment. I just think he's got it all in his hands, really. But me and him, we're good sparring partners. Every time he's got a fight coming up, he comes down to Sheffield to spar with us. And me and him know that when I join the ranks, I'll be mixing it up as well.
Josh is obviously like someone who's a very exciting prospect. Everybody loves watching him fight. He just picks his punches superbly and never tends to waste one. What level do you believe he could be operating at now? I know he's just won the British title, but would you say that he's actually better than that and he should be in and amongst the world level fighters now?
He should be in there now. He is there now, but as a professional, there's no need to rush. I don't see the point of rushing straight to world level, because when you're there, you can't come back down. Get the little fights that you need, keep building your name, keep building your resume, get the more rounds in. And then when him or his promoters find it right to jump up. That's what I want to do. Don't let no one rush you, because as soon as you're up there, there's no coming down there. Then you're fighting top level all day, every day.
And Anthony Yarde, another light heavyweight, ordered to fight Sergey Kovalev as his mandatory. What do you make of the entire situation there with regards to his manager and trainer Tunde Ajayi saying that they're the A side and the fight's going to happen at the Emirates, etc.?
Yeah, it's a bit of a delusion there. There's no way you can be the A side when you're going to fight a world champion. Soon he was going to be in the pound for pound before Andre Ward fought him. It's a bit of a silly thing, but it's just the type of people we're dealing with now these days.
Yarde's come under some criticism for not stepping up sooner to fight people who I think more people across the country would know, not necessarily saying that who he's fought have been bad, but they don't appeal to the more casual audience. What are your opinions on who he's fought today?
Like you said, I think he's fought nobody. It's just part of the pro game. You do need to kind of fight journeyman, get your fans behind you, because people think he's this big boogeyman who's knocking out everybody. But that's what I'm saying about amateurs. People say you should stay for another cycle. You couldn't be banging kids like that as an amateur, because they're top level kids. As a pro, that's kind of your starting bases. Start banging out kids, get a little record on you, get a name for you. He needs to step up now though, because it's just, the thing is, he's showing flaws against these kids. That's the worrying thing. So if he does step it up, I think he'll have a big shock.
And talking as well about that light heavyweight world scene, the likes of Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, amongst others. In your opinion, who's the best at light heavyweight?
The best out there, I think, I'd say Bivol, because my coach loves him, Joe Clay, he loves him, just how relaxed he is. But he's just serious business, mate. He's not about his talking, he's not about the trash talk. He just gets in there, gets the job done. And I think he's like one of the most feared ones out there at the moment.
The other name I just mentioned as well, Artur Beterbiev, fought Callum Johnson previously. Did you watch that fight? If so, what did you make of it?
Great from Callum Johnson, I think. He fought class. Top lad. I didn't really watch too much of us in the highlights. But like, he fought class up to it. He backed himself all the way. And he shows that he's up there mixing it with the top ones.
And obviously I know you're up with GB at the minute. Anthony Joshua, your best mate. I'm always seeing little photos and little videos of yourselves together. What's it like to have him in and around camp?
It's great having someone like that around, world champion. He's just down to earth, you know. He trains with us, he asks us questions, he messes around with us. It's good to see, because he's came through the same system as us. He obviously likes it and knows that it works, because he still comes back for it, even though how much money and how many titles he's got. So it shows us a winning formula down there.
Talk to me about your personal relationship with him, because I know you've said to me in the past that, you know, you obviously used to do the samba dancing when you was a kid to grow up. That's why you've got such fantastic footwork and you're this slick boxer. I know you've said to me as well that Anthony has asked you about that style and where it all come from. What's that like when you've got somebody like him asking you for advice to pass on to somebody who is one of the best heavyweights in the world?
I would say it's flattering, but it's a testament to himself. He's a student of the game. He wants to learn. He knows he's a world champion and he's knocking people out and winning, but he always wants to improve on his game. And I think that's what not a lot of boxers these days do. When they're at the top of the game, they don't want to ask, they don't want to learn. That's another thing with Buatsi. He always asks questions. If finish sparring, how did you catch me with that? What do you think I could work on? People like that will make it a long way, because they're students of the game. People who believe in the whole hype will sadly get taken down in the end.
Do you think Anthony should do a bit of samba dancing?
I don't know, I think it's a bit too heavy for that, but he can give it a go. I'll give him a few lessons.
And what's he like in terms of, I don't know whether pranking's the right word, but the little jokes that you have amongst each other? Do you ever do anything with Anthony? You ever play a joke on him?
I'm a bit of a calm guy. I'm a bit calm. I don't really do all the pranks. Some of the lads pull pranks on him and all that. He's too heavy for me. I just keep it nice and chill, keep on a friendly level.
And talk to me as well then about the rest of this year, what are your plans, what tournaments are coming up for yourself?
In June we've got the European Games coming up. That's a decent one, that is, because you go with Team GB there. It's the only thing other than the Olympics you go to Team GB with. So we've got that in June. Then we've got the European Championships. That's a qualifier for the World Championships. Do well at the World Championships, you've qualified for the Olympics. Other than that, if you don't do as well there, the proper qualifiers start next year then. But I'm looking to qualify in the World, get it over and done with. Just start getting ready for the Olympics then.
I know as well you've got a couple of lads who are Birmingham based who also travel up with you. Do you feel like you guys could be this generation that can possibly push boxing in and around, not necessarily Birmingham, just the Midlands in general, something which, even though we have the likes of Cal Yafai, who's a world champion, Gamal Yafai, who's highly rated, Brad Foster just picked up a British title, amongst others who are boxing on the scene. Do you think that you guys could be the ones, when you turn over, you get that push and maybe a stadium fight at some point for one of you three?
100%. You like you said, you've got the Yafai brothers, top class fighters. You've got Foster, who just won a title as well. But like me, Solomon, North Barrel, we all live in the ssame house then at GB. We're local lads. We'll meet up outside of boxing. We're good friends. And like we've all came through the same stages really. We've won the ABAs together, we've been in international tournaments together, training camps together, so we've seen each other grow. We've seen each other on our lows and highs, and it would be good to see us all when we're pro, winning titles.
What's it like living with your mates?
Oh, it's funny, you know. we get into a bit of mischief, but that's lads for you, you know. We live down there Monday to Thursday. We have a bit of a laugh, and like it's a family really. It gets you through, because if you didn't have that laughs in the camps, you'd be a bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to be here now, but it's the second home from home really.
I know you're a very family orientated person as well, so I know that will mean a lot to you. But let's say when you turn over and you become a pro, what coaches would you be looking at? Do you think you'd be looking to move away from home, or do you think there are coaches in Birmingham, such as Max McCracken who trains the Yafoys, for example, who you'd look to go to take you on?
Like you said, Max McCracken's a great coach. There's a lot of great coaches, and abroad as well. There's a lot of great Americans. I'd love to go to America, but I think I'd keep it at home, keep it where I am now with the same people. My dad, top coach. Joby Clayton, top coach. I've got Varus. He's Armenian, used to be an Armenian national team coach, top coach. And I think it's better to just stay at home, put Wolverhampton and Darlaston on the map, really.
Well, we'll just pick that up there. My SD card was full, so if there's a little jump in the interview, I just want people to know it hasn't been edited. It's just my SD card run out of space. Yeah, just talking about staying humble and keeping that aura about you.
Yeah, well, I'm a nice, humble lad, because my dad, he wouldn't let me be big-headed. My mum and dad's raised me up pretty well. But, in the ring, it's business. I've got my nice little flashy style, but if I do sense a bit of blood, I'm going for it. That's the art of the game, is kill or be killed, really, so you can't mess around in there.
Well, I've noticed that Stone Island jacket on. I've got the badge in.
I'm looking a bit fresh, a bit dapper. I knew you was coming, man. I couldn't look a bum.
You just turned up to look good for me.
Nah, guys. There could be a few girls watching as well. Got a little trimming.
You got that fade this morning.
You did. I got the fade lined up.
Well, Ben Whittaker, before I do let you leave, I don't think there's anything that I've got to add. Is there anything that you want to add yourself?
I just want to thank everyone who's behind me, all my supporters, all my followers, my great family, Wolverhampton and Darlaston. I want to keep putting you on the map, keep shouting you out. Also my sponsors, I want to thank Eat Right, Bandel Dentist, ABC Cars, the ECC Club, Billionaire Barbers for the fresh lineups, JR Health and Social, Luke Clothing, Tommy Johnson's Massage, Major's Fish Restaurant, Lee Nichols Groceries, Jim Pro, Jatin Dalal, and the Youth Foundation, the Foundation Youth Centre.
There's a lot of sponsors there.
A lot of sponsors, they all believe in me. That's a bit of added pressure, because I like to do well for them when I'm going to tournaments. Like the barbers especially, they're lining me up, when you're fighting next, and I say when I'm fighting next, make sure you bring that goal back. I'm like, you already know, but it's good, and they believe in me. I'm a local lad, so they're putting the hopes kind of into me. There's not many people, well, there's no one from Darlaston who's been on Team GB, so I'm kind of flying the flag there. I just got to keep it going.
I think I need to hit up your barbers after this.
I'm saying no more. That's what Adzo or Troy, they'll sort you out.
Ben Whittaker, as always, I appreciate your time. It's great to catch up with you, and I'll speak to you soon. So thank you. Speak to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much, Boxing Social. Everyone follow and subscribe.